Use I almost forgot. There's a new scam I heard about. Be careful. And the reason why, well, I mean, if there's any weird, crazy scam, I mean, everyone knows there's a lot of scams out there, but I'll bring up any type of scam if there is a scam going on to be aware of. But this.
I found a stack of records in my attic today, an Elvis picture disc and Kenny's big old hay. Put them up on eBay for the day was done. Watch the bids roll in till the morning sun.
Welcome everyone to the video. Welcome to the channel. It's going to be the Thursday What Sold video. I'm going to talk a little bit about world events things. Just real quick, I'm just going to touch on it. I just wanted to follow up with my silver video, and what else is going on? We'll see where the conversation leads us. We do have the cool, unique what sold. I threw a bunch more in there, just some more cool, unique stuff that I sold, just kind of because I wasn't sure really what I was going to talk about. So I'm like, let's show some more what sold. Maybe the video goes long, maybe it doesn't. We'll see how things go, how the conversation progresses. But like the video, just thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let's get that out of the way. If you can please do all that, that would be amazing and great. We're all pushing for more views. That's what we're pushing for. That's everything social media is about, getting more views, more clicks, right? Yes, it's about, the help, and that says Isla, by the way, not I Slay. It's Scott. I mean, this is a Lefroy cat, so Lefroy, the distillery in Scotland, but Isla are the the islands of Dawn. So yeah, really cool. I like the hat. It is a little bit small for me though. Generally I wear it like on the last two. Like this is a adjustable, so usually I put it on the last two, and that's about the last little thing just ain't gonna work, and it's still a little bit tight. But I do like it. I don't like how it pops up so much up here in the front. I don't know why people like those. When people wear those hats, they're so like puffy up in the front, like so tall, not puffy, tall up in the front. I don't like that look. I always like to wear it back a little bit, and see now I threw my whole hat off. Speaking of whiskey, I don't know if I showed this, but I got this over at Savers the other day. An Old Forester glass. I really like this, guys. It's really cool. It's got some nice. It's embossed, is what it is. It's not. It's the glass is embossed. It's not the It's not like a decal or anything like that, which is pretty cool. This here is a decal. That's embossed as well too. The actual Old Forester. So you don't want to throw this through the You don't want to throw this through the dishwasher, because then this will slowly get fade away. So you don't want to do that. But this is a pretty cool. It's kind of a really cool glass. Old Forester is it's inexpensive. It's not too expensive for Old Forester, and it hits way above the belt. This thing is Old Forester is a great bourbon. If you're looking for a great bourbon, something to give to somebody, or it's like $20 or $25 a bottle, so it's not too expensive, but it is a great bourbon. And if you want to spend a little bit more, they have their Prohibition bottles. Those are really good. But really good, really great bourbon. And bourbon's a whiskey. Not all whiskeys are bourbons, but all bourbons are whiskeys. So like Scotch, not all whiskeys are Scotch, but all Scotch is a whiskey. Like that. It's not vice versa. But what I wanted to touch on was, I don't think many people know all the uses that a lot of these earth minerals and precious metals, really what we're talking about. We're talking about silver primarily. How widely used they are in industrial use, in the production of things. There's actually silver and gold is actually used in, believe it or not, in plastic. It's used in plastic. I've seen them in little tiny squares, and they cut them down to size for whatever is needed for their customers. And they actually collect all the shavings, like from the gold one. They actually collect all the shavings from the gold plastic. There's gold in the plastic. until they collect it all up after they're done cutting it. So there is use cases for all these precious metals, platinum, gold, silver. I mean, the ones we know about in jewelry. It's not just jewelry, it's not just jewelry where gold. Speaking of gold, I got my ear re-pierced for Christmas. But the reseller in me is like, I don't. It's a little stud. I mean, you may see it. I'm not going to flip my ear forward, but you may see it from time to time when I turn my head. But I got it pure. I just have a little stud in there for right now. You got to leave it in there for so long. But what happened was, I think I may have mentioned this on a video, but the area I had in there, which are like little, where are they, like dumbbell horseshoe shaped ones. For some reason, that one exact earring would always come undone and come out. It was only got one. It was so bizarre. And not only that, I had switched out the earring before. So I don't know what it is about that ear, or not that ear and that placement on the ear that just caused the little ball to come undone and just whoop right out of my ear. Well, either way, it closed up, and I was like, oh, whatever. I'm not gonna go through the process of, if that's gonna happen all the time, I'm not gonna get re-pierced all the time, right? Just let it, whatever. But it was something, like the symmetry, I guess. And so I ended up going, I was like, oh, for Christmas. My wife's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, Christmas. I don't know. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to get my ear repairs. I do want to take care of that. So I went and did that. And then, they ask you, well, which one do you want? I was like, just give me the gold one, because you know what? I can sell that later. Give me the 14 karat gold one. I don't really like the gold color. I like the silver color. So I will get silver, or I will get 14 karat white gold, right? Because you can't have it any higher. White gold can't be any higher than 14 karat, because then it'll start to be yellow, because there's too much gold content in it. So I think 14 karat is like 50. I forget the number exactly. I should know this because I always keep my eye out for it, because sometimes gold jewelry is marked by a number, and it's like the percentage, like 52.5%, I believe, or 54.5. I should know this, and I'll have to look it up. Maybe 54 point something. Either way, it's right around 50% gold, and then the other material is other metals, so therefore they can be of a silver color, because there's not that much gold content in it. But I was like, give me the 14 karat gold, white gold ones, and then I can resell it later as gold continues to go up, as precious metals continue to go up. So there's a lot of uses. And I talked about computer use for silver. Gold is also used in computer. There's actually, if you look up on YouTube, there are videos of people that actually buy computers, circuit boards, all that, and then they extract the gold from it. It's not a very cost-effective way to get gold, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to watch. But there's gold uses in especially like when the trying to see what I have around here. I don't have anything around here. But wherever there a contact needs to be made, that needs to be, a high-speed contact, they'll use gold. Remember the conductivity of, copper. Aluminum's good, copper is good. Aluminum's good, copper's a little bit better, silver's even better than that, and then gold is really, really good. Obviously, but what were the limitations are the cost of each of those materials, right? And we tend to think of, as consumers, we tend to think of gold as, in jewelry, we tend to think of it as gold and or silver, or other metals too, for that matter, as investment opportunities, as in coins. We don't really think of the use that is, the use of these materials in building things, building the computers we use. Like I said, it's used in plastic. I'm not going to say, I was going to say, like it's, or how it's used in plastic, but it is used in plastic as well too. There are use cases for it. So that is what's driving up the price. That is what's really driving up the price right now. And I'm going to kind of transition into more of my conversation right now, into more of, talk about what's going on in the world right now, because we all know what's going on with Venezuela. It's all in the news. It's everywhere. Everyone's making memes about it. But there is, it don't really you could, yeah, definitely, world the news out there at large is decent information. I always think of the movie Training Day. He's looking at the newspaper and he's like, 90% of this is, BS. And that is true. That is a very, very true. Not BS. It's more just to get headlines. And but what's really, you really have to, read between the lines, dig deeper, do more investigative work to see what's really going on. And what I like about the time that we live in right now, especially with social media, there's so much investigative work going on out there. There's so many not good investigative work going on, but there's so much great investigative work. I think at this time in our lives, we can be the most informed about what's going, not just, as consumers, I talk about that, but just what's going on in the world, the amount of news that we can get, the amount of real world news that we can get. We don't have to rely upon the 6 o'clock news, the 5 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, which is or the newspaper coming out the next day. We can get multiple opinions. I always talk about this, get multiple opinions. Go out there, look at multiple opinions about things, and then formulate your own. That's the one great thing about what we have today in this day and age. But Venezuela is really a play. So I've talked about this before, how the pandemic kind of exposed our reliance upon China, and China was making a lot of inroads into other, not just within China, but outside of China as well too, and creating relationships with other countries to really build this empire that kind of controls a lot of the earth elements that we use every single day, and that businesses and companies use every single day to produce things. And so China was making a play for that, and we were really not aware of that. We had no idea what was going on. China was making all these moves to become a major superpower when it came to, and therefore, not just a superpower in speaking of control of natural resources, but or rare earth minerals. You hear the thing being thrown around, rare earth minerals, right? They were trying to be in control of all that, so that way, everybody has to go to China, and then China, that gives them power, right? They could go on off. They could change the price if they want to. They're like, oh, you know what? We're going to jack the price up a few percentage, and nobody would have had a choice except to accept it. Because that's the number one, that's the place to go. That's what they were trying to do. And, we caught on. Luckily or unluckily, however you want to look at it, there was a pandemic, and it kind of exposed all of this. And we're like, oh man, this is a major deal. We cannot be so reliant upon other people, or other countries, I should say, for yes, there's going to be some instances where we have kind of no choice. But we should, like everything else, we should diversify. The investment, when people talk about investments, or, here on YouTube, reselling space, they talk about, don't just rely primarily on eBay or Amazon or whatever. Diversify. We want to be diversified, so that way, if one faucet gets turned off, or if this person decides to just go, we're going to jack up the price 100%, you can switch gears and it not hurt you so much, or hurt your country so much. And so it really gave a lot of power, showed the type of power that China was going after. And so there are certain moves, like what happened in Venezuela. Don't make no mistake. It wasn't really, yes, there was an indictment regarding the drugs that flowed through Venezuela, but that's not the main reason. It's really, yes, is oil a part of it? Sure, definitely. But it's really trying to flex the muscle, trying to show, hey, we're not asleep anymore. Because we were asleep for a sleeping giant, a sleeping dragon, a sleepy whatever you want to say. Yes, we have all this potential energy, and we just slept on it, and we didn't really do anything about it. And now we're kind of just flexing, whatever you think of what is, the current administration, whatever you think of it, I am glad that uh, I want to be a part of the strongest country, and I'm glad I'm a part of the strongest country. I want to be a part of the strongest country in the world. That's what I want to be a part of, and I would like to continue being a part of that. And I like to continue for America to be the strongest superpower in the world. And this definitely, trust me, you don't want to be a part of. Trust me on this. You really don't want to be a part of a. I think I repeated myself, and I did, and I tend to do that, and I realize I do that, and I tend to do that because I think I forget I actually said it, so I just want to reiterate it. Like if I did it, I think that's what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's subconscious. I know it's subconscious because I realize it after the fact. After I have said it, I realize it. I think it must just be a subconscious thing, I believe. But the move against Venezuela was really just a power move to say, hey, we're still here. And all the moves that are being made right now are, hey, you better back off. We are the superpower of the world. So don't mess with us. What it is. That's what I was saying. You really don't want to be a part of a country that is not a superpower. There's so many, like in Europe, a lot of European countries are dependent upon Russian energy. And so much so that Russia can, that's why Russia has been allowed to run amok in Ukraine, because if the European countries really do anything about it, Russia could simply turn the switch off, and then most of Europe will be SOL. So it's not a place to be in. You don't want to be in that kind of a place. You want to be diversified. You want to be able to not be reliant upon one thing. So that's my talk on world news and what is going on in the world right now. And my take on it. Definitely get different opinions, don't just rely upon one opinion, go out there, seek multiple opinions. All right. But you came here for reselling news. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a new scam I heard about. Be careful. And the reason why, if there's any weird, crazy scam, everyone knows there's a lot of scams out there, but I'll bring up any type of scam if there is a scam going on to be aware of. But this sounded very much so. If you're not familiar with there's a service through Poshmark where, and I've gotten emails about this, you as a seller on Poshmark, they can link you up with someone who has inventory that they will send you their inventory to sell. So they will get a cut of it, you get a cut of it for selling it, and everybody is happy. So they'll send you a bunch of inventory and you have to deal with the inventory. All the other person has to do is get the inventory and send it to you. And therefore you're now responsible for selling it. And so this scam sounded familiar. They're not associated with Poshmark at all. It's not a Poshmark thing that I'm aware of. This is something totally different, but they're scammers because what they're doing is, it sounds to me kind of like a way, money laundering, kind of cleaning the money, cleaning themselves of these items, but they're actually either stolen or fake items that are being acquired by someone. Then they are reaching out through, all these mass text messages, all these, you want to look for a job, you want to make thousands a week, robocalls, all that. And they're reaching out to people to try to get people to do something similar, ship items out for them. So what they will do is sell the item online somewhere. I'm pretty sure a lot of the major sites out there would not allow them to, or would catch on to what they're doing. So more than likely they are creating phony websites, selling items on there, shipping and then hiring someone, being like, hey, you want to make extra money, I'm going to send you items that you need to ship out. And that's all they're doing. And the person's like, oh, that's all I got to do is just buy a label and ship it out. Buy a label somewhere like on Pirate Ship or something. And, I don't need to do, they're going to send you prepackaged items. All you have to do is buy a label, slap it on there and send it on its way. But what they're not telling you is those items are either fake, they're either stolen items. And, so that way when you create the label, you're putting your information on that label, your account, wherever you get your label from, that's, your account with your information, your return information, and you're shipping these items out. You're getting them in, you're shipping them out. So that way, when law enforcement comes knocking, they're looking for, you're the first person of contact. You're the first person, right? You're the one that's actually shipping these items. You're the address that's on the label. You're the account, that has that label. So this is happening. I've heard of one instance, and it could be getting bigger and bigger going forward with with everybody buying things online nowadays, or most people buying things online nowadays, or more people shopping online, more people shipping items out, more people looking for side hustles, looking for gigs, looking to make extra money. Just be aware that this is out there and be cautious. So sounds to me like they kind of are borrowing that Poshmark idea, and so be aware. They may even try to come across as being official Poshmark. So just be aware of this stuff and be cautious. Try to do, ask as many questions as possible. Try to get make sure it's official, but I know sometimes these things look really, really good. Be aware of advertisements as well too, because a lot of these places, they will invest money to advertise their phony websites or their phony whatever, and be aware of that. So when you do a search, it'll be like, oh man, this the first one that pops up is the one that's promoted. So be careful. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the what sold. Okay, so here we go with the what sold part of the video. Where are we at here? Let me get nope, that's not what I want. I want this. There we go. Okay. There's looking for the little arrow thing. What side is it on? Okay, so we have a 100 pack of CDs. Now, CDs and DVDs, I really wouldn't mess with. See, I know I did that repeating thing. My wife always is like, you repeated yourself again. I'm like, I know I did. Maybe it'll get worse as I get older. Who knows? Maybe as I get older, I won't even realize I'm repeating myself. I'll just repeat myself. So you really don't want to buy DVDs, depending upon how much you pay for them. You could do 50 packs, but in CDs, I wouldn't do any less than 100. I mean, other ones do sell, yes. The other sizes do sell consistently, but you want to get them dirt cheap at that point. Thrifting or even the bins, you can generally get a decent price. You can ask them to price it because it is weighty, when you get a 50 pack or a 100 pack. But you're talking those kind of buy prices. I mean, if you're at a flea market, or you generally get these fairly cheap. But when it comes to CDs, you really don't want to mess with anything lower than 100 pack. So this sold for $20.04, $8.55 what they paid in shipping. And one of the main reasons is because this is going to go inside a fairly substantial box because of the size. It doesn't quite fit into one of my hat boxes, so it's a little bit more. So I have to put it in a 12/8/6 box when I have to put it into. I don't bubble wrap it. I just put packaging paper in it when I do ship these out. So there's a weight to it, and what's the weight on it? I think it's about 4 pounds is what it is. So the shipping is pretty up there. And not only that, but shipping rates are going up, by the way, coming up here in a few days. I don't think they really said I heard or read retail prices and on eBay, and you don't pay retail prices, but they will go up. They will go up no matter what. They will go up. And I think they just gave it like a blanket percentage. I didn't really see a breakdown of, usually they give you a breakdown of this, you know, this is this much, this is going to be this much, this is going to be this much. So I don't really know. Hopefully we find out in a few days. I'm not changing, I'm going over to flat rate. I'm moving a lot of stuff. I'm moving probably everything soon. Will be over to flat rate shipping. And so I don't think I need to move anything around because I've already was prepped for the holiday rate increase, which is a temporary increase. And so I may just leave it. I may just leave everything as it. Well, I'm definitely leaving everything as is right now. And going forward, it may just stay where it's at. I'll have to monitor things and see how everything is going, what prices are. But really, really cool. 100 packs or more when it comes to CDs. Now, this is a brand of purse that, if you watch my thrifting videos, I do typically leave behind Charles and Keith. If you look at the data, if you do your market research and you're looking at your competition and you're looking at your customers, then you will see that it does go for a decent price. It does, sell pretty well. Generally, you can get them for a good price. But based on my experience with this brand, this name, this designer, it just doesn't do that well in basic styles, your basic flat black, typical little black purse. You really want something cool, unique, interesting when it comes to some of these names. And this one here was really cool. I like that it had the chain. It also had the crossbody, so you can actually detach the crossbody and just have the chain if you want. You can wear both on it as well if you like that. Definitely a unique. It's not a square, it's not a rectangle, so it's more, kind of like a fanny pack type of bag. You can't wear it as a fanny pack, but it's got that fanny pack look to it. So very, very unique use case probably for this, because it obviously is smaller. It's not going to hold that much. Probably more for going out. Probably more of a Friday night bag. So really, really cool. And sold for $32, $9.10 what they paid in shipping. Standard padded poly bag is what it went into. Now, this is really cool. I mean, I do sell a lot. This is the company that's the name of the company. And I do sell a lot of these company branded things. Not all companies. The item has to be cool, first of all, and this is really cool. And it has to be somewhat of a well-known company. I know a lot of companies I talk about that I buy stuff from aren't necessarily well-known to the general public, but they're well-known to people that are involved in this case, semiconductors, computers, I bought and sold like the logistic companies, shipping toys, stuff like that. So those are the types of items I look out for. And this was really, really cool. It was just really a really cool piece, a really cool, well made. If you look at it straight on, it was clear. But when you looked at it as an angle, it started the bottom, the actual globe was clear. But the bottom part where it sat on had this really cool iridescent look to it. And when you put it on top of it and you looked at it from different angles, you got different colors. And this sold for $15, standard padded envelope. Yes, I used additional bubble wrap, and $10 what they paid in shipping. So really cool piece here. Now here's a really cool piece. Crate and Barrel. Cool because it came from Crate and Barrel. Definitely keep your eye on Crate and Barrel. It looks pretty generic. It looks like a TJ Maxx piece. Feels like a TJ Maxx piece, which if it was something like that, did not have a Crate and Barrel name, I would be leaving this behind every day, all day. But because it says Crate and Barrel, $27.59. There's some names that do carry items. Did I say $27.59 and $8 what they paid in shipping? Must have gone somewhere pretty close because that shipping seems low. And this went in an 8x8x8 box. So really, really cool. Keep your eye out for some brand names of items the items may not feel very good. They may not look very good. And actually, this still does look pretty cool, but you could tell it's mass produced. So, That's the other thing too. A lot of the stuff that Crate and Barrel gets are probably produced for other companies as well too. We've talked about this in previous videos that there's a handful of manufacturers out there that make a lot of things, and companies will just, hey, can you make that for me now? And I'm gonna put my name on it. So something to be aware of. Just be aware of. This was a cool find over at Savers. You want to make sure it's brand new to get the most money out of it. This was brand new, completely sealed, and it's Microsoft Office 2010. Obviously, this is well over a decade old now. I think, what is it, 16 years old now? So an old piece of software, but it's still relevant. A lot of this Microsoft Office stuff is now subscription based. I pay for it, I know. So getting the actual standalone program is, I think you can still buy it. It's fairly expensive. So people still look out for this. And again, you want to make sure it's completely sealed, brand new, unused, and you can get $89.59 for it. $7.50 what they paid in shipping. Standard padded poly bag is what this went into. Hello Kitty. Oh, where did my... I don't know, where do my prices go? Here we go. Hello Kitty. Or Sanrio does incredibly well. Hello Kitty does really well. And sometimes the friends do really well. Really cool little, like a beach tote. It was, I was going to say clear, but it's not really that clear. But you can see through it. And it's got like a more of a mesh netting, really, really cool bag. And this sold for $21.69. $6.21 is what they paid in shipping. This one is a 12 by 8 by 6 box because of the shape down here. Yeah, it's pretty flimsy, but this had a bit of a rigid shape to it, or rigidity to it. So therefore, I decided to put it in a box. But really, really cool piece. Definitely keep your eye out. Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is, there's a lot of Hello Kitty out there, so definitely keep your eye out for the friends, especially if the friends have their own branded stuff. So, really, really cool piece here, and that went out the door. Ski goggles, we're in the heart of ski and snowboarding season, and this is a great vintage brand to look out for. It's Electric USA. Keep your eye out for it. Very well made. The one thing with goggles is you want to make sure that the padding behind it is in decent shape, because that's right up against your skin, and so that's like the first thing that starts to disintegrate on these things. So definitely be aware of it. Electric USA. Oakley is another brand. I think everybody knows Oakley. I used Oakley when I was snowboarding. It was Oakley. I was wore Oakley all the time. I had all different Oakley styles, more so different lenses. I'd have different depending upon what the conditions were that day. Sometimes, just your classic, just orange lens worked really well. Sometimes I needed the yellow lens. Sometimes it was just way too bright, and I just needed the nice, what do you call it? Like reflective lenses, the mirrored lenses. So I had a wide variety of goggles depending upon the day and the look I was going for as well too. So really cool. Keep your eye out for Electric USA. Also keep your eye out for headphones. Now this has an FM radio built into it. If you know the Sony ones, which do incredibly well, the Walkman ones that have the little antenna sticking out of it. I don't think these had an antenna because these were brand new sealed, and it sold for $26.34. This went in a standard padded poly bag, but just a really cool. I wouldn't buy these if these were used. I would only buy these if they were brand new. As you can see, $7.99 is what they used to cost. Probably sold at like a Rite Aid or a Walgreens or something like that. That's the vibe I'm getting here. Not a major name brand, but probably made by some company that made Sony headphones or something. But nonetheless, brand new. We got $26 for it. So really, really cool. Definitely keep your eye out for these retro stuff. People are looking out for it. I'm seeing DVDs start to sell. I don't sell too many DVDs. Usually the DVDs I sell are DVDs that I'm adding to my media server. And I'll be like, I'm just going to get rid of it. Recoup some of my costs on that. I don't make I don't think I make any money on DVDs because I buy them for myself and then just reselling them to kind of recoup some of the costs. Uh, but DVD, all of a sudden, like DVDs have just been going, CDs going, cassettes going. I'm like, what the heck? Like all of a sudden, like this older media, older ways to listen to the radio are just suddenly starting to fly off the shelves. So keep your eye out for this stuff. It's out there. That's the end of the video. I gotta get this video out. Thanks for watching.
Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch and my most recent video that I did upload.